There are no accidents in the universe. Everything, every sound, every face, every challenge appears when you are ready to receive it. And so, if these words have found you today, it is not by chance. Berkeley, it is a signal that your hour has come. You may be standing at a crossroads, uncertain, exhausted, or broken by the weight of delay. You may have whispered to yourself, "Why now? Why me?" Yet, in the silence of your doubt, something within you refused to die. That something, that quiet, burning voice, is your divine power waiting to be commanded. The truth is this: life never gives you what you wish for, it gives you what you are ready for. The lessons, the opportunities, even this message, arrive when your spirit has reached the point where it can no longer afford to remain asleep. Every adversity you have faced was not designed to destroy you, but to prepare you. Your failures were not walls, they were mirrors, reflecting what must change within. You were never being punished, you were being forged. And now, you have been found by this message because it is time to rise. There is a power within you so vast that it could transform your entire existence if only you dared to command it. But power unused is power wasted. It waits for decision. Decide that you will no longer live as a victim of circumstance. Decide that no obstacle shall dictate the limits of your vision. Decide that your faith will be stronger than your fear. Faith, my friend, is not a prayer whispered in weakness. Faith is a declaration made in the face of impossibility. It is the inner knowing that, though the path is dark, your steps are guided by something greater than sight. Every person who ever achieved greatness was once in your place, alone, uncertain, searching for a sign. And when that sign came, they did not just listen. They acted. They transformed their pain into purpose, their doubt into drive, their obstacles into opportunity. So now I say to you, this is your sig. This is your moment. Do not wait for the perfect time, for it will never come. The perfect time is now. Because this message, this video, this call, has found you for one reason. To remind you of who you truly are. A creator, a conqueror. Have a mind with no limits except those you choose to accept. So stand up. Wipe the dust of failure from your spirit. Look within and command your power to rise. Your destiny has been waiting. And now it has found you. 87% of people will abandon their dreams before they ever see the first sign of success. Not because they lack ability, but because they never recognize that truth always arrives late and right on time. The universe does not deliver wisdom to the unprepared mind. It waits patiently until your hunger for change outweighs your tolerance for mediocrity. Every great awakening in history, every turning point in a human life begins the same way, at the edge of frustration, in the silence between defeat and decision. That is where truth chooses to appear. You see, life does not waste its messages. It does not cast pearls before those who refuse to listen. The answers you seek have always been present, circling your life like a hawk above a field, waiting for you to finally lift your eyes. The message was never hidden. You were. You were buried beneath fear, beneath doubt, beneath the noise of conformity. But when the pain of standing still becomes heavier than the fear of moving forward, the veil lifts and truth steps forward. That is the timing of truth, precise, merciless, perfect. The man who fails today is not truly defeated. He has only been tested for readiness. Life will never hand permanent victory to the half-hearted, to the uncommitted, to the one who prays for harvest without planting seed. Truth demands proof. It waits for persistence. It measures your patience in storms and your faith in darkness. Only when you prove that your desire is greater than your comfort will life unveil its secrets to you. The truth that could not reach you yesterday will find you the moment you refuse to quit today. Most people misunderstand delay. They call it denial. They think silence means abandonment. But in reality, delay is preparation. It is the sharpening of your inner blade. It is the universe bending circumstance in your favor while testing your endurance. The timing of truth is never rushed, because premature knowledge destroys the weak. What would you do if every answer came instantly? You would waste it, because you would not yet know the weight of wisdom. The truth arrives only when you are ready to carry it. Every setback you've endured was an announcement, not a punishment. It was life saying, not yet. Not until you see what I'm showing you. Not until you stop running from the reflection in the mirror. The doors that closed on you were not failures, they were directions. They forced you to turn, to climb, to discover new paths within yourself that comfort could never reveal. The truth you seek is not something you find out there. It's something you awaken in here, inside. It waits behind the wall of excuses and habits that have kept you smaller than your purpose. When your heart is tired of pretending, when your excuses no longer taste sweet, when you reach the point where average feels like poison, that is when the truth enters. That is when the message appears. That is when the teacher speaks, the book falls into your hands, the video finds your screen, the mentor crosses your path. Not before, never before. Because truth does not chase the unwilling, it magnetizes to those who are ready. You do not find truth. Truth finds you the moment your spirit declares, I am ready. And if you are hearing these words now, then understand you have reached the threshold. Something within you has shifted. The same force that timed the rising of the sun has timed this message to reach you exactly now, at the edge of your breaking point, because you are prepared to rise. Do not mistake coincidence for calling. This is alignment. This is evidence. This is the timing of truth, and it has finally found you. 95% of people spend their lives reacting to the world around them, while only 5% create the world they live in. That 5% have discovered a truth so powerful it separates them from the rest. The law of attraction is not magic. It is readiness. It is not a wish whispered into the night. It is a state of being that calls to opportunity as naturally as the sun calls the dawn. The energy you carry, the thoughts you nurture, the emotions you repeat, they form a magnetic field around you, and that field determines what you attract, what you repel, and what you are ready to receive. The mistake most people make is believing they can attract success while thinking failure. They recite words of abundance while holding beliefs of lack. They ask for love while radiating fear. But the law of attraction does not respond to words, it responds to frequency. You do not receive what you say, you receive what you are. Every thought is a seed, and every emotion is water. Together, they grow the garden of your life, and if your soil is poisoned by doubt, your harvest will reflect it. The universe does not play favorites, it plays mirrors. Readiness is the hidden half of attraction. You cannot draw something into your life that you are not internally prepared to sustain. People pray for opportunity but collapse when it arrives, not because opportunity failed them, but because they never built the strength to hold it. They wanted success without discipline, love without vulnerability, freedom without responsibility. The law of attraction gives you not what you demand, but what you match. You are not chasing dreams. You are aligning with frequencies. When your inner world rises to the level of your desire, attraction becomes inevitable. Every successful individual began by transforming their state of mind low. NG before results appeared. They lived as if the goal were already real, not through delusion, but through conviction. They woke up with gratitude before abundance came. They walked with confidence before anyone believed in them. They gave effort when no one was watching. That is readiness, the act of living in harmony with what you seek before you see evidence of it. The universe is not testing you, it is tuning you. It is asking, can you hold this energy consistently enough for it to manifest? The truth is, you are already attracting every experience in your life, whether by design or by default. Your dominant emotions, your inner dialogue, your expectations, they are signals broadcasting into the invisible field of possibility. If you are constantly speaking of fear, scarcity, and limitation, you are rehearsing your own misfortune. But the moment you shift your focus, the instant you choose gratitude over complaint, vision over memory, faith over doubt, your entire vibration changes, and with it, your life begins to rearrange itself around your new identity. S is responsibility. It means becoming the version of yourself that your future demands before your future arrives. When your belief, your preparation, and your emotion align, the universe will rush to meet you, because in truth, the law of attraction has never been about getting what you want. It has always been about becoming who you are ready to be. 78% of people give up on their biggest goals after the first major setback, not because they were incapable of success, but because they misunderstood adversity. They thought the storm came to destroy them, when in truth, it came to instruct them. Every struggle, every delay, every heartbreak carries within it the seed of advancement. The problem is never the pain itself. It is the perspective through which we interpret it. Adversity is not an obstacle. It is the examination life gives before promotion. Those who learn its lessons rise. Those who resist its teaching repeat it until they do. Pain has always been the language of transformation. It strips away illusion, comfort, and ego until only truth remains. Comfort never built strength. Ease never taught resilience. It is through challenge that character is carved. When life places you under pressure, it is shaping you into a vessel strong enough to carry what you have asked for. You prayed for power, and adversity arrived to make you powerful. You asked for wisdom, and difficulty arrived to make you think deeper. You wanted confidence, and rejection came to teach you self-reliance. Nothing is random, everything is training. Look back at your life and you will see it. Every mountain that once terrified you now stands behind you as a monument of growth. What you thought would break you built you. What you cursed in the moment later became your greatest blessing. Adversity does not visit to punish, it visits to prepare. It comes when you are ready to evolve, when the current version of yourself has reached its limit and must expand. The universe. E does not test the weak, it tests the chosen. It refines those who are destined for greater things, and that refinement rarely feels gentle. The strongest souls were not born that way. They were hammered into strength by fire. Every blow of disappointment, every strike of failure, every wave of uncertainty forged within them the endurance that comfort could never give. Success without struggle is fragile. It collapses at the first sign of resistance. But success earned through adversity becomes indestructible because it was built on understanding, humility, and perseverance. The lesson is simple. The deeper your struggle, the greater your capacity to rise. Adversity is the mirror that shows you who you really are. It reveals the depth of your faith, the endurance of your mind, the boundaries of your patience. It strips away the pretense and leaves you face to face with your true self. And in that moment, when you have nothing left to hide behind, you discover that you are far stronger than you ever imagined. That is the sacred purpose of hardship, to introduce you to your own power. It does not come to stop you, it comes to wake you. The difference between those who crumble and those who conquer lies in interpretation. One sees adversity as evidence of failure, the other as proof of progress. The first retreats, the second rebuilds. The first blames fate, the second studies the lesson. When you change the meaning of the challenge itself changes. What was once heavy becomes holy. What once felt unfair becomes necessary. You begin to see that every delay was protection, every disappointment was redirection, every heartbreak was construction of a stronger foundation. There will come a moment when you realize that adversity has been your greatest teacher, more honest than success, more faithful than comfort, more precise than praise. It taught you patience when the world rushed you. It taught you gratitude when the world took from you. It taught you resilience when the world doubted you. And now you carry within you a wisdom that cannot be stolen, because it was earned in the fire of experience. That is the unseen gift hidden in every trial, the transformation of pain into power, of loss into leadership, of struggle into strength, for adversity was never against you, it was always for you. More than 90% of people go to their graves without ever tapping even half of their potential power. They live and die as prisoners of their own self-doubt, unaware that the greatest force in the universe has been quietly sleeping inside them since birth. The tragedy is not that people are weak. It's that they have been taught to believe they are. Every human being carries a generator of limitless strength, creativity, and intelligence, but few ever learn how to turn the switch. The power within does not reveal itself through wishful thinking. It responds only to command, to courage, and to conscious awakening. The average person waits for the world to grant them permission to be great. They wait for the perfect time, the right conditions, the approval of others. But the truth is, the power within you does not ask for permission. It demands recognition. It cannot operate in hesitation, only in decision. The moment you decide that you are capable, the power responds. The moment you believe that you are worthy, it activates. You are not waiting for opportunity. Opportunity is waiting for you to recognize the authority that already lives inside your mind. Your thoughts are the steering wheel of this power. Every belief you hold either fuels or restricts it. When you tell yourself you can't, your subconscious obeys. When you declare that you can, it begins arranging every cell in your being toward that reality. You are the architect of your own limitations and the engineer of your own liberation. The power within you does not know doubt, only direction. It follows the blueprint of your dominant thought with mathematical precision. The question is not whether you are powerful, but whether you have learned to think in a way that unleashes your power instead of suppressing it. History has proven this truth again and again. Every revolution, every invention, every masterpiece began as an invisible idea in someone's mind before it became visible to the world. The Wright brothers had no wings. Edison had no light. Mandela had no freedom. But they all had inner power, and that power turned the impossible into the inevitable. They were not superhuman. They were simply awake. They had mastered the art of directing their internal energy toward a vision so clearly that the world had no choice but to conform to it. That same force lives in you, waiting to be commanded. Most people underestimate the potency of their own mind. Science now shows that a single focused intention can alter measurable outcomes, that emotions change cellular chemistry, that belief modifies biology. This is not fantasy, it is physics. The human mind is the most advanced transmitter of energy ever created, capable of reshaping external reality through internal certainty. When you think a thought with conviction, you are sending a signal into the field of creation, and that field responds. Every success story is built upon this invisible exchange, a thought conceived, believed, and achieved through the power within. The challenge is not that you lack power, it is that you've been conditioned to look for it elsewhere. Society has trained you to depend on approval, validation, and circumstance. But true power is internal, independent, self-sustaining. It grows the moment you take responsibility for your life, the moment you stop blaming luck or timing and start shaping your destiny with your own two hands. You were not created to chase, you were created to create. The moment you grasp that truth, you cease being a victim of circumstance and become a master of cause. Everything you've ever needed is already within you. You, strength, courage, intelligence, love, creativity, resilience, all waiting for your command. The world outside is merely a reflection of the world within. Change the inner landscape, and the outer world must obey. This is not motivation, it is law. You hold the keys to an infinite source of power capable of rewriting your life in ways you barely imagined. When you finally believe in that truth, when you finally act from that place of inner authority, life itself begins to bend in your favor, because the universe always aligns with the one who has remembered their own power within faith and persistence. 92% of people who start pursuing their dreams quit within the first year, not because their dreams were impossible, but because they lost faith before the finish line appeared. The remaining 8%, the ones who rise, build, and lead, are not always the most talented or the most gifted. They are simply the most unshakable in belief and the most relentless in persistence. Faith and persistence are the twin engines of achievement. One fuels vision when sight fails, and the other keeps motion alive when progress slows. Together, they turn ordinary individuals into unstoppable forces. Faith is not hope. Hope wishes that things will get better. Faith knows that they will. Hope is emotional. Faith is spiritual. It is the quiet certainty that even when logic collapses and evidence disappears, something within you whispers, "Keep going." Faith is the invisible blueprint behind every breakthrough. It does not ask for proof, it becomes the proof. It speaks when circumstances mock your ambition and says, "I will not bend, I will not break, I will not surrender." It turns fear into fuel, delay into direction, rejection into redirection. Faith does not remove the mountain, it gives you the strength to climb it. But faith without persistence is only potential. Belief without consistent action is daydreaming. Persistence is the physical expression of faith. It is the act of moving forward long after motivation has faded. It is showing up when no one applauds, working when no one notices, believing when no one supports. The world often crowns the persistent because they refuse to quit. They understand that success is not built in the moments of glory, but in the hours of repetition, in the days of grind, in the nights when doubt screams and they keep walking anyway. Persistence is not glamorous, it is gritty. It is the proof of conviction. Every great success story has a chapter called failure, but failure is not the end. It is a checkpoint. The man who falls 7 times and rises 8 is the one who changes history. Failure only defeats those who stop learning. Every obstacle is a test. Will you trust what you believe even when you cannot see it? Will you act on faith when the path disappears? Those who do become masters of life. They understand that faith is not about ignoring reality, it's about creating a new one through unwavering commitment. When faith drives persistence, persistence manifests results. The truth is, life will always challenge you before it rewards you. It will ask, how badly do you want it? It will strip away comfort, expose weakness, and demand growth. Those moments are not punishments, they are preparations. The delay between effort and reward is the furnace in which faith is forged. Most people quit right before their breakthrough because they mistake difficulty for defeat. But those who hold the vision, who keep watering the seed even when the soil looks barren, discover that persistence bends reality in their favor. Every no eventually turns into a yes when faith refuses to die. Faith is the light you carry into darkness, and persistence is the step you take within it. One without the other is incomplete. Faith without persistence is fantasy. Persistence without faith is fatigue. Together, they are creation. Together, they are destiny in motion. You do not need to see the whole saint. Case, just trust the next step. You do not need to know when it will happen, only that it will, if you refuse to stop. The most powerful statement you can ever make to the universe is not "I wish," but "I will." Because when you persist in faith, you align with the laws that govern all success. The universe does not reward speed, it rewards endurance. It does not listen to fear, it responds to faith. Keep believing, keep moving, keep persisting. For as surely as night follows day, the moment will come when all your unseen efforts will break through the surface, and the world will finally witness what your faith and persistence have built in silence. The call to action. 85% of people know what they need to do to change their lives, yet less than 15% ever act on it. The gap between knowledge and action is where dreams die. The difference between those who wish and those who win is not intelligence, not luck, not timing, it is decision. The call to action is not a whisper, it is a roar echoing inside every soul that was born for more. It is that restless energy that wakes you at night, that quiet knowing that you are capable of greater things than what you are currently accepting. You feel it not because you are lost, but because you are ready. The call to action is life itself speaking to you. It is the moment when truth meets courage and demands movement. It does not wait for permission or applause. It arrives like thunder, shaking the foundations of your excuses and daring you to rise. Most ignore it. They silence it with distraction, drown it in comfort, numb it with fear. But those who answer it, those who take the first step when everything in them screams wait, they are the ones who alter the course of their destiny. The moment you act, you separate yourself from 90% of the world, because thought alone changes nothing. It is action that makes thought real. Action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. IT is the only proof of faith, the only evidence of belief. You can study forever, you can plan endlessly, you can visualize until your eyes close, but until you move, nothing happens. Life responds to movement. The river does not flow toward the stagnant, it flows toward the active. You cannot steer a ship that refuses to leave the shore. You must move even if the path is unclear, even if the odds seem impossible. The act of motion creates momentum, and momentum reveals direction. Waiting for clarity is the fastest route to decay. Clarity comes from commitment, not contemplation. Action transforms fear into fuel. Fear loses its grip the moment you step forward. Every small move weakens doubt and strengthens confidence. You do not have to see the entire road to take the first step. You only have to trust that the road will appear as you walk it. Action converts belief into evidence. The more you do, the more capable you become. The more capable you become, the more confident you feel. Confidence is not given. It is earned through action. Each act of courage multiplies your power until fear has no authority left. The call to action is not about waiting for the right time. It is about declaring that now is the right time. Because someday is the killer of dreams. The world is filled with people who almost did, who almost tried, who almost changed. And history does not remember almost. It remembers those who answered the call, those who risked embarrassment, failure, rejection, and acted anyway. The cost of inaction is far greater than the cost of failure, because inaction guarantees regret, and regret is the heaviest chain a human mind can wear. Every revolution, every innovation, every success began when someone decided to stop thinking and start doing. The call to action does not promise comfort. It promises growth. It does not ask for certainty. It asks for courage. It demands that you bet on yourself before the world believes in you. And once you act, you win. Verse conspires to meet you halfway. The winds of opportunity only blow for those who are already moving. Life will never reward hesitation, but it will always honor boldness. The moment you take action, life bends around your movement. Doors that were invisible begin to open. Resources begin to appear. Allies begin to emerge, not because they were absent before, but because you were inactive. The call to action has found you because the time for waiting is over. The strength you need is already within you. The vision you carry is already alive, and the only thing missing is your motion. Step forward, not tomorrow, not when it feels easy, but now, while it still feels uncertain, because that is where growth begins. The world is not changed by intention, it is changed by execution. The call has come, and it will not stop echoing until you answer with your life, your courage, and your unwavering decision to act.